Campos, I. Cooley. Cooley, I. Cooper. Cooper, I. Daly. Gallagher. Christina Garcia. Eduardo Garcia. Gibson.
Aye.
Gibson, I. Hernandez. Hernandez, I. Jones Sawyer. Levine. Levine, I. Linder.
We're going to record deal.
Linder, I. Mainshine. Salas. Salas, I. Steinnorth. Steinnorth, I. Waldron. Waldron, I. Wilk. Wilk, I.
Jones Sawyer, aye.
Jones Sawyer, I.
Senator, your bill's out. Thank you. At this time, we're going to move to SB 1032, Galgiani. Senator Galgiani, would you please approach and present your bill?
Second. Just come on.
Senator, you have a motion and a second.
Just do what you tell.
I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Amen. All those in support? All those in opposition?
Oh, here comes opposition.
Carrie Askew Bailey with the California Grocers Association. We are opposed.
Thank you. Senator, would you like to close?
I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
She's so good. Secretary, please call the roll.
Gray.
Aye.
Gray, I. Bigelow. Bigelow, I. Alejo. Banta. Banta, I. Campos.
Aye.
Campos, I. Cooley. Cooley, I. Cooper. Cooper, I. Daly. Gallagher. Christina Garcia. Eduardo Garcia. Gibson.
Aye.
Gibson, I. Hernandez. Hernandez, I. Jones Sawyer.
Aye.
Jones Sawyer, I. Levine. Levine, I. Linder. Linder, I. Mainshine. Salas. Salas, I. Steinnorth. Steinnorth, I. Waldron. Waldron, I. Wilk. Wilk, I.
Thank you.
Okay, that bill is out. And at this time, we're going to move to SB 1385. Senator Leyva, please approach and present your bill, Senator. Second. We have a motion and a second for you, Senator.
That's quite lovely, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Would you like to hear some more testimony, or should I just respectfully ask for an aye vote?
We'll take that as
Perfect.
your close.
Thank you.
Those in support? Thank you. The additional testimony in support?
Just ask for an aye vote.
Juliana Voris with the Urban Counties of California in support.
Okay.
Stanisha Boatner with the California State Association of Counties in support.
Thank you very much. Testimony in opposition? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. Secretary, please call the roll.
Gray.
Aye.
Gray, I. Bigelow. Bigelow, I. Alejo. Banta. Banta, I. Campos.
Aye.
Campos, I. Cooley. Cooley, I. Cooper. Cooper, I. Daly. Daly, I. Gallagher. Christina Garcia. Eduardo Garcia. Gibson.
Aye.
Gibson, I. Hernandez. Hernandez, I. Jones Sawyer.
Aye.
Jones Sawyer, I. Levine. Levine, I. Linder. Linder, I. Mainshine. Salas. Salas, I. Steinnorth. Steinnorth, I. Waldron. Waldron, I. Wilk. Wilk, I.
Senator, your bill is out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members. Have a great summer recess.
Okay, members, at this point, we're going to move to SB 1240. Senator Hall, Chairman, please approach and tell us about your excellent bill.
Thank you.
Second. We have a motion and a second, Senator.
Absolutely. I respectfully ask you your aye vote on SB 1240.
Testimony in support? Testimony in opposition? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Gray.
Aye.
Gray, I. Bigelow. Bigelow, I. Alejo. Banta. Banta, I. Campos.
Aye.
Campos, I. Cooley. Cooley, I. Cooper. Cooper, I. Daly. Daly, I. Gallagher. Christina Garcia. Eduardo Garcia. Gibson.
Aye.
Gibson, I. Hernandez. Hernandez, I. Jones Sawyer.
Aye.
Jones Sawyer, I. Levine. Levine, I. Linder. Linder, I. Mainshine. Salas. Salas, I. Steinnorth. Steinnorth, I. Waldron. Waldron, I. Wilk. Wilk, I.
Thank you, Chairman.
I
Your bill is out.
respectfully thank you. Have a great break.
Thank you, Senator.
I'm going home now.
Okay, the Senator is going home now. And at this time, members, we're going to move to SB 1285. This is Senator Leno's bill. Senator, please approach and share with us about your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and colleagues. Well, thank you for that. So, as you all know, San Francisco is in the midst of great economic, robust growth. Unfortunately, most of it is in the center of town. We have many outlying neighborhoods which are really struggling. A lot of vacancies on streets, merchant districts, I'm sure not unlike many of your districts. San Francisco is oversaturated with liquor licenses, so I'm not here to ask for one because we couldn't get one if we wanted one. But because we recognize that mom-and-pop restaurants in these commercial districts could really benefit from having the ability to serve alcohol with their meals, San Francisco went to work to provide me with a bill which is a very innovative and creative approach. So what I'm here to tell you about and ask for your support is to allow us a pilot project which would create 7 districts that the city has identified as being in need of this kind of benefit, to allow up to 4 of these new kind of liquor licenses. So it would be a new creation for a pilot project. Neighborhood restricted, non-transferable. So if I were to get one as a restaurant owner, when I go out of business, the ABC takes it back. It does not go to the open market. And why this is so important for these small businesses is that a liquor license on the open market in San Francisco right now is going for about $300,000. It's just impossible for a small restaurant, small mom-and-pop operation to be able to ever earn that back. So by creating this, it would be in the neighborhood of about $13,000. I guess that's the average fees. And we would be able to create a lot of new vitality in these merchant districts surrounded by neighborhoods on the west, mostly on the west side of San Francisco, away from the downtown tourist areas. And I can share with you all sorts of facts and figures, but this is for small business creation, job creation. We have worked with the ABC through every step of the way. There is no opposition to the bill. We've worked with our local law enforcement. There will be public process and public participation and public comment for any of these to be issued. So we've really done our best to work with those who manage the very serious business of expanding liquor service. This is not for corner groceries. This is not for off sale. This is not for anything but restaurants who would like to be able to serve alcohol with their meals in very specific economically depressed neighborhoods. That's what this is all about. Again, the bill calls for 7 areas with up to 4 in each area. And I know this committee has been pretty consistent in limiting any new liquor licenses to 5. This is not a liquor license. This is something new, something this committee's never seen before. So I hope you can look kindly upon what we're trying to do with this. Quite honestly, if this works, other parts of the state might want to try it out as well. In fact, some of my colleagues in the Senate said, why aren't you doing this statewide? And the answer to that was because San Francisco uniquely has done the footwork to get this in order. And if it works, we may have a really great new model to share with the state. So that's my pitch. I would ask for your aye vote.
Okay, do we have some testimony in support?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. First, I'd like to thank Senator Leno for bringing this bill forward. It's Justin Fanzo on behalf of San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee. We also would like to appreciate you, Mr. Chair, and your staff for the work that you've put into this. As Senator Leno indicated, there are always due concerns that are put into any tied house or liquor license issues in this committee, and we appreciate that. If there are any questions from the committee in the matter of time, I'll let you know that we have San Francisco City staff here to answer any technical questions about how they came to this type of program, all the research that went into it, and the outreach into the community. And we'd urge your support for the bill today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Javier Gonzalez for the California Restaurant Association. We are in strong support of this bill for the reasons articulated by the Senator. I think that this will be a great project to explore and provide those neighborhoods that are economically depressed with an opportunity to attract new restaurants or existing restaurants to be able to be successful. This is one more tool, given the number of factors that we've seen lately. This is only incentivize those small businesses to continue to thrive. So we strongly urge your support for this bill. Thank you very much.
Any testimony in opposition?
I don't believe we have any, but support.
Additional testimony in support, then we'll move to opposition.
Margot Parks, Family Winemakers of California in support.
Okay, testimony in opposition.
Michael Skipper, representing Alcohol Justice. We are opposed to this bill.
New to me.
Okay, we'll move to questions from the members. I believe Mr. Levine has a question.
Yeah, it's really more of a comment. I just want to commend Senator Leno on struggling with this issue and trying to make it work for all of San Francisco. I know that the prices in some establishments in San Francisco where there's a lot of tourists or a lot of the industry that's on the east side of the city, it's quite expensive. That's where a lot of the liquor licenses are. How do you make a good dining experience accessible and available to all San Franciscans? And it's, how do you bring that into people's neighborhoods? And this is an effort to do that so that people who actually live in the city can enjoy the city. And so I really commend that approach on this very difficult issue. I know this committee has seen, attempts to bring, drinks to hair salons and other things. These are dining establishments. Where people want to have a dining experience. And so just thank you for struggling with this. And I think that this is a really interesting thing to see. Like you said, how would it work in San Francisco? Would it apply in other places? And this is a good place to start.
Thank you, Assemblyman. I'd like to take full credit for it, but it's really the hard work that the mayor and his staff has put into this.
Okay, we have a question from Senator Salas.
Thank you, Senator. I just wanted to, if you could, the analysis points to the bill not being clear about which local governing body would be empowered to approve the applications. If you could just address that either now or in your close, I'd appreciate that.
Okay, my understanding is, and I've got I'll let you go directly for it.
It's the San Francisco Police Department would certify the meeting, and the meeting would be the Office of Economic and Workforce Development. We've chosen these corridors because we have staff on the ground in each, so we would be there to help support and coordinate and ensure a successful meeting that would then be certified by the police department to ABC as is current standard with other liquor licenses.
So pretty much the status quo.
Okay, Mr. Cooley.
Well, I just want to, from a city standpoint, neighborhood quality of life, a key issue for any city is just to promote greater walkability, getting people out walking around through the neighborhood, spending money. It affects security. It affects just sort of the atmosphere and tone. Every city in the country is trying to improve this sort of thing. I think this is an interesting notion, and I think it actually takes some nerve on the part of the city to actually identify which census tracts, that there's only going to be a certain number within each census tract, but it does sort of open up the city. It promotes walkability. I think San Francisco is unique because it is so diverse. You have so many different neighborhoods where this could fit in. Many cities have more distinct places where it might work and the rest of the city not. But within the city and county of San Francisco, I think you have a special urban landscape. And I sort of think this is an innovative way to bring people, as I say, walking the streets out in the community. And walkable neighborhoods is sort of the sine qua non of planning today. Good idea.
Thank you. And relative to a couple of the comments that we've heard, the price of a cocktail in the downtown core can be as much as $15, $20 because they've got to pay for that $300,000 initial overhead for the license, whereas in these areas that we're talking about, we could have a more realistic price to pay back the more realistic cost of what this license would be.
Mr. Daly? Additional questions from the members. Mr. Gibson.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the author, Senator Leno, for bringing this before us. In my community, of Los Angeles, South Los Angeles, Watts, specifically in Compton, those areas. Sometimes it's an issue when you talk about creating new liquor license to allow a business establishment there, because we have a growing coalition that's very active and very vocal. How does your community feel as it relates to new liquor license being placed in their community?
I'm going to let the mayor's representative respond in just a moment. But again, this has been built from the ground up. So the police have already been working with the mayor's office of economic development, and we have support from the community. You'll hear no one from San Francisco arguing against this. And we included the ABC in our early investigation, research, and creation of this whole new concept. And they have been of great counsel to us. So this would be in neighborhoods, and she'll give you the very specific facts and figures. This is in neighborhoods where there is not an overconcentration. We as a city overall have an overconcentration. Of course, we're just 47 square miles, so it's very dense. But these are the areas that don't benefit from the current license structure.
Mr. Chair, before she regales us with her response, just want to follow up with Senator one of the questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
With respect to, I know there's oversaturations that you made mention of. You made mention in your opening presentation that if a business goes out of business, because traditionally, I mean, I've worked on these in Los Angeles through revocations, taking away liquor license from businesses who don't operate in the best interest of the community. So you made mention when you first opened that this liquor license cannot be transferable.
It is non-transferable.
And if someone loses it, it goes back. It's not reauthorized to someone else.
And it cannot be sold on a second market.
Okay.
Secondary market.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just want to make sure I heard what you said.
Yeah.
Correctly. Thank you.
And can you, Mr. Chair, if she may, just to address, how did you choose these 7 districts?
So these are 7 districts that we are part of the Mayor's Invested Neighborhoods program as a part of his Sustained Prosperity for San Francisco. So these are neighborhoods that are experiencing a higher rate of storefront vacancies, where we have active people on the ground working with the community to recruit businesses. These neighborhoods also are uniquely lacking liquor licenses. Across the 7 neighborhoods, there's currently only 13 Type 47 licenses and 20 Type 48, which is not dealt with in this bill. But under current ABC standards for population, we would usually see 35 more licenses in these neighborhoods. So it's showing that those licenses have all moved downtown and are no longer serving our neighborhoods and the population that lives there.
And you have business owners that are ready to, if this was to move forward, to...
Yeah. Absolutely. And a number of vacant sites that believe that people could start new, that this would help make the project pencil to move in. So both existing businesses that this will help sustain, and locations that they believe they would now be able to tenant and help revitalize the corridors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Assemblyman.
Okay, do we have any additional questions? Seeing none. Senator, certainly we raised a number of concerns in the analysis and suggested amendments, most notably using the Board of Supervisors to allocate 5 licenses over 1 year, consistent with what we've done in other policy this year. I commend you and understand that here you're trying to put together a different system. And given all the heartburn, heartache, and discussion around all of these various legislative proposals, I think that's a worthy cause. I'd like to see us figure out a pilot program. I'd love to work with you going forward, although today I don't think the committee's comfortable putting out the bill as is. If you wanted to take the suggested amendments, the 5 licenses, certainly we move forward and keep talking about things. But I know the chair's not prepared to do anything more than that at this time.
We are always respectful, and I personally am always respectful of your position, Mr. Chair. If I could ask for a vote on the bill as presented for the reasons that I've shared with the committee. If that fails, I would be very happy to have you put forward the second offer of the 5 and see if that can pass. But I think this is a solid proposal, only meant to do good for small businesses, restaurants, and neighborhoods that are otherwise struggling. And I think it's worth a vote, and I'm willing to ask you for that respect.
I'll move the bill.
I think is that additional question by Mr. Cooper?
Just to comment on your comment, Mr. Chair. You can do it again. I do share your concerns also with this. It's different, and it's a novel idea. I'm not sure I support it. Being in law enforcement 30 years, oversaturation is a problem. I spent 15 years on the city council, so I do have some concerns. It sounds good, but I think there's a lot of details to be worked out with this. So I think to start out with 5 is much smaller than 28. That's kind of jumping in right in there. So that would be my choice.
Ms. Campos.
And I'm not going to take much time, but I will just say that I agree with my colleagues' comments as well.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, if I may, as the city has already shared with you, that in these specific 7 districts they've identified, there could be 35 more on-sale licenses, traditional on-sale, than there are today, and still be within the legal limit. So these are 7 very specific districts that are undersaturated right now, but can't get any kind unless they buy one on the secondary market, which they can't afford. So even with these 28 of the new kind, neighborhood-based and non-transferable, they'll still be under any saturation limit. So I think your concerns are met with this legislation, Assemblyman. Thank you.
Mr. Gibson.
Mr. Chair, and I appreciate certainly with everything that the senator has indicated. It's my understanding that this committee has, and the chair can correct me if I'm wrong, that traditionally it's been 5. That's the question.
Yeah, that's certainly been the recent tradition.
Could, Senator, this work with as a pilot? I mean, traditionally it's been 5. Again, for me, who comes from a community in which I come from, and liquor license and things of that nature, for me it's reasonable to follow the consistency by this committee in terms of 5. And I think that if I understand the chair correctly, that he wants to continue to work on this moving forward to see how things in fact can work out to get us to the 28 in the 7 districts that you described. I would like to see how that work in terms of the 5 and moving that as I guess a motion.
A motion.
I had already moved the bill, and it was seconded by Mr. Cooley. And I have a substitute motion.
So Mr. Cooper has a substitute motion with amends?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have a second? We have a second on that. So we have a substitute motion with amends to move the bill. Secretary?
Excuse me, just if I may ask in my close to have the mayor's representative respond to Assemblyman Gibson's question. We don't believe that the pilot will be able to gather the information necessary with the 5, but I'm going to let the mayor's office respond for you, Assemblyman.
With all due respect, Senator, we will certainly allow that, but we have a substitute motion with no debate before us.
But before you vote on that, I just wanted you to know what the effect will be.
Well, being that we have no debate, we'll probably have to hear that after the roll call to vote.
Would the committee like to hear what the effect of your vote will be?
Could the mayor's office please provide us the information?
Secretary, please call the roll.
Gray.
Aye.
Gray, aye. Bigelow. Aye. Bigelow, aye. Alejo. Bonta. Campos. Campos, aye. Cooley.
No.
Cooley, no. Cooper.
Aye.
Cooper, aye. Daly. Gallagher. Christina Garcia. Eduardo Garcia. Gibson. Aye. Gibson, aye. Hernandez. Jones Sawyer. Aye. Jones Sawyer, aye. Levine. Levine, no. Linder. Aye. Linder, aye. Mainshine. Mainshine, aye. Salas. Aye. Salas, aye. Steinnorth. Aye. Steinnorth, aye. Waldron. Waldron, aye. Wilk.
No.
Wilk, no. Pass out.
Okay, that motion passes. Additional testimony?
What is the count?
What is the motion?
What is the count on the vote?
11-3, Senator.
Very good. Thank you very much.
As amended. So that bill is out as amended.
How many votes do they need?
Motion to.
How many votes do they need?
Okay, we have one additional bill.
Thank you very much. Our chairman will be presenting for Ms. Wolk on SB 683, the Alcohol Beverage Licensing and Nonprofit Sales Bill. You have a motion and a second, Mr. Chairman.
Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
We have a request for an aye vote. Is there any support? Speakers in support? Speakers in opposition?
In support, Wine
In
Institute.
support. Additional support in the audience.
Family Winemakers of California.
Opposition.
Opposition may speak now.
Alcohol Justice, Mike Skippa. We are opposed to this bill.
Questions from members? We're on SB 683, the Walk Bill. Mr. Chairman, a question with the bill is, this bill is tailored for just one specific institution. Is it possible to get other institutions who are in the winemaking industry, they have viticulture programs, could it be amended to allow those additional facilities who are very much like the university as named in this bill, to be allowed to be a part of this?
Certainly, I think that could be included in the bill, and I know there are many Bulldogs fans and other Central Valley folks who might like to see something like that happen. I will speak with the senator about including that going forward.
Thank you very much. With that, I will take that as your commitment to work with her and make sure that we will together work on.
Yes, sir. I will speak with the senator.
So, if there's no other questions, ask for a roll call.
Gray. Gray, aye. Bigelow.
Aye.
Bigelow, aye. Alejo. Bonta. Bonta, aye. Campos. Campos, aye. Cooley. Cooley, aye. Cooper. Cooper, aye. Daly. Gallagher. Cristina Garcia. Eduardo Garcia. Gibson. Gibson, aye. Hernandez. Hernandez, aye. Jones Sawyer. Jones Sawyer, aye. Levine. Levine, aye. Linder. Linder, aye. Mainshine. Mainshine, aye. Salas. Salas, aye. Steinnorth. Steinnorth, aye. Waldron. Waldron, aye. Wilk. Wilk, aye. The bill's out.
SB 683 Walk is out.
We have a motion, do pass with amends to Rules Committee. Secretary, please call the roll.
Gray.
Aye.
Gray, aye. Bigelow. Aye. Bigelow, aye. Alejo. Bonta. Bonta, aye. Campos. Cooley. Cooley, aye. Cooper. Daly. Gallagher. Christina Garcia. Eduardo Garcia. Eduardo Garcia, aye. Gibson. Hernandez. Jones Sawyer. Levine. Linder. Linder, aye. Mainshine. Mainshine, aye. Salas. Steinnorth. Waldron. Waldron, aye. Wilk.
Okay, we're going to leave the roll open for add-ons for a few minutes.
Mike Gibson, aye.
Gibson, aye.
You want to get Frank out of here?
So we're safe.
Okay. On SB 1285, Mr. Alejo. SB 1285.
Okay.
Alejo, aye.
The Leno bill, we did the substitute
Garcia.
motion, but then he walked away. We never did the do pass
Does he want them like that or no?
as amended. Do pass as amended to rules.
Ms. Garcia, aye. Mr. Steinwith, aye. That bill is
SB 1285 is out. Do pass as amended to rules. We're done. We're just leaving the roll open for members to come back.